Don't go away. Coming up next on Doggy Dilemmas, you're going to meet Eddie, a little Jack Russell Terrier that has issues with dogs and people.
Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I'm Denise Mazzola. Today we're out in Antrim visiting Barbara, and we're going to meet her little dog Eddie, who has seems like some serious issues with dogs and people. So let's meet Barbara, and Barbara, fill us in on what's going on with Eddie. So tell us his age, how long you've had him, his breed.
Eddie's about 2 years old. He is probably a Dachshund Jack Russell mix, is what we guessed. And I've had him almost 6 months.
Okay.
He's a rescue.
Yep.
And he's becoming increasingly more aggressive on leash. He's very reactive with other dogs, and now more and more with people as well.
Okay.
And off leash, he's not nearly as aggressive with dogs, but getting more aggressive with people, charging at them and nipping.
Okay. So on leash, reactive with dogs, but no fight history.
No.
And he has some dog friends in the area that he can play with. Okay.
He does.
And on leash, is he reacting to people now too? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's not as wild when he sees people when he's on leash, but he starts getting that huffing and a little, getting himself working up. But I am able to bring him back to my attention on leash. Off leash, he'll charge them and run at their ankles and act like he's going to bite their ankles. He's never bitten anybody yet, but he acts like it.
Okay, so off leash, just so I get this straight in my head, off leash, is he charging at other dogs?
Yeah, he'll charge up to a dog, and they'll do their, stiff-legged walk-around thing, and then pretty much, if it's an easygoing dog, they'll start playing,
Okay.
But on leash, he just can't ever be close to another dog.
Okay. And off leash, I think you described that he's charging up, like if you're walking wherever you said you were, and you said there was a woman that came out, he just charged right up to her and was barking.
Yep, and nipping at her ankles.
Okay, no contact or contact?
No contact, but he was very threatening. She was pretty nervous.
Right.
So were we.
And were you able to get him to come back?
Yeah, he did come back, but we were running towards him and yelling his name, because the woman was frightened,
Right,
so
right.
then he saw us coming and came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so just some things that could be occurring with Eddie. Okay, it's Jack Russell Dachshund. Jack Russells are terriers, they're tenacious, and they're, they've got a lot of energy. And you mentioned that there's some issues with the cats, so the bold cats he'll leave alone, but the
frightened cat,
right, he's going after. So that's pretty, it doesn't have to be standard, not all Jack Russells do that, but it's not a surprise to me. Interesting that he will play with dogs that are sort of calm around him. Has he ever met a dog loose that, was a little stiff back to him or gave him any sort of correction or not?
Up at the top of the hill, again, he ran into a person's yard, and their Golden came out and basically laid down on top of him and squished him, and then he ran off. He got the message and left. Yeah.
Okay, so, but there's been no bad experiences while he's lived with you with other dogs?
No, there's never been a full-out fight ever.
Okay.
But a lot of it's because I keep him on leash when we're in this neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you need to. And the other piece that I'm sort of thinking, because you've said to me that it feels like he's getting worse. And so you've taken classes, which is fantastic. So he's got some behaviors. I'm assuming he can sit and lay down. Come and call, it sounds like it needs work. Leave it,
Yeah, leave it.
Leave it, okay.
Although we haven't worked with that in a little bit, but he was pretty good at it, yeah.
So you've started the process sort of waking up his brain. So he's not functioning from lizard brain, which is the brainstem. We can hopefully switch turn the switch and get him to work from the front of his brain, which is operant, which is where a dog is, consciously thinking about the consequences of their behavior, because hopefully they'll want what we have or they want to avoid something. So those are the consequences, and that makes the dog more operant, so that's great. The 6-month mark is not an unusual time for dogs to get worse in new homes after they've been adopted. It can take that long for them to really settle in. So not that it helps, it's not going to solve the problem, but it might explain a little bit about why he's looking like he's getting worse. So what I want to do is I want to do a quick dog assessment with my stuffed dog. And then based on that, we'll either work with Eddie and Thor on leash, see what we can get accomplished, because I haven't seen him around dogs, see if we can do any pass-bys, see if I can work with them or you can work with them. And then we'll sort of see where we are from there. So,
all right.
So let's, I'm going to have you go get Eddie, and I'm going to set up for the assessment.
Okay.
Good. So he sees the dogs. That looks pretty typical to you. So lots of forward, tail up. He has to displace by peeing. His ears were, riveted forward. So the good... Eddie. So the good news is, right, so he really doesn't care much about the stuffed dog. I've had other dogs that never recognize that it's fake. Oh, maybe you don't recognize it's fake. So a little nervous, see how he's leaning back? But if I bring him sort of square to Eddie, not sure. I know it's hard because he doesn't really change his stature. What are you doing? So not the worst I've seen. Typical to what you've seen?
With a real dog, much more aggressive.
It would be much more. Okay, vocalizing, growling, carrying on.
Yeah, yipping nonstop.
Okay.
Pulling towards the dog.
Okay. And probably so embarrassing. You can't, it's hard to walk in places. And
Oh yeah.
it's always
That's
the little
right.
guys. So now he's a little more playful. He knows this guy isn't a threat. Okay, let me give Eddie back to you.
Here, Eddie.
So what it appeared to look like to me was there's a lot of forward movement, ears up, tail up, hackles up. There wasn't a lot of vocalizing at that point because I was still letting him come forward. I suspect if I was, really restraining him, that builds up the frustration. It didn't look like a lot of fear. Like, I didn't see a lot of fear. He was able to go up, sniff the dog. He probably figures out that it's not real. I mean, he did some sniffing when I moved it around, but certainly not the most fearful dog I've seen. So he may be, and the fact that he can play with dogs once he gets there is a good thing. We need to just see if we can work at him getting by them, or I suspect, movement and things like that will start to set him off. So I think that's good news at this point. Like I said, I haven't seen him with a real dog, so we'll see. So what I'd like to do first, do you have any questions?
Not yet.
Okay. I'd like to see his sit and down and whatever other behaviors he has here, sort of warm him up.
Eddie, sit. He knows play dead too.
Well, that's
Eddie,
good.
get up.
There you go.
Good boy.
Let's ask for the down.
Down. Good. Down. Good boy. Oh,
and play dead.
Play
Good.
dead.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all right. Okay. So when do you use these behaviors around the house, sit and down?
We bring them in after a walk and always do them with the dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you ever use them on a walk?
Not too much, no.
Okay. You're going to start using them on a walk.
Okay.
Walks aren't going to be just a free time for him anymore. He needs to be switching that switch in his brain and working from the front of his brain.
Yeah.
And not just being a dog, not just being the Jack Russell or whatever else that he is in there. All right. And have you been able to ask for the behaviors without always having food in your hand? So if I get him up, Eddie, come on, get up. Eddie, good boy. And
No, I actually always have used.
Sit. So you said this was the sit signal.
Yeah.
You tired already?
There you go.
Sit. Good boy. And your down is this way? Down?
Yeah.
Good boy. So I did do that without food, but he's warmed up and he knows that there's food around. And the leave it. Have you practiced leave it?
He did, yeah. I haven't done it in a while. I kind of forgot about leave it, but he had it really well. It's been a couple months.
In class, did you click him for the right behavior?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he responds well to a click.
Okay. So we'll just warm him up on that. Leave it. Good boy. So I'm not looking for the sit, I'm just looking for him to back away. Leave it. And you're familiar with body blocking? Leave it. Good boy. So he's offering the sit and the down, that's fine. All I really want him to do is look up at me and not charge at the treat. Leave it. Good. So you're going to have to refresh this one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I want you to use it in the presence of dogs.
Okay.
The more we can leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Yes. The more we can tell him what we want and give him things to do that we want, it's going to increase our chances of getting him to stop doing. Like, I don't want to focus on stopping the behavior because that puts us in punishment mode. I want to know what he can do so we can use those things and have him do that. And it may all go out the window when I see him in action, but we'll give it a shot. Eddie, leave it. Yes, good boy. Good boy. So I use the leash, leave it, to control and let him make the choice to come away from the treat. And I'll do that again. Leave it. Yay, good boy! And then throw a little party and reinforce him from coming away. But I'm not pulling him away. I'm waiting for him to choose to come away from that treat. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Tone of voice is important. All right. So I'm going to have you take him and get your stuff out, and we'll do that.
Come here, Eddie.
Oh, can't get the chicken out of the grass. And I'm going to have you use a piece of chicken just because it's white. It's a little bit easier to see.
Okay.
And do you have smaller treats?
No, I actually have pretty big treats.
Let me give you some of this so you can break this up with your nails.
Okay.
Because he'll just fill up too much and we won't be able to get too much done.
Okay. I know he's kind of a bottomless pit, but...
So
Right,
first
Eddie?
drop one next to you and you're going to use the body block to get him to stop.
Okay. Leave it. Oh, I did
That's
it
all right.
wrong.
So click
Good
him.
boy. Oh, click, click, click. I gotta get my clicker out. Good boy, Eddie. Hold on there.
What's happening? All right, good. So drop it again.
Okay.
Good. Don't let him get it after even when you're going
Eddie.
to pick it up.
Leave it.
Yes, good boy.
Good boy.
Okay, so pick that one up. And now toss it so that, and you're going to, this time I want you to use the leash. Don't let him get it, but wait for him to make the choice.
Leave it. Oops.
That's right. Call him, call him, call him.
Eddie, come here.
Good boy.
Good boy. Good boy.
Good. Leave it.
Leave it.
Okay.
Good boy.
So did you see how you pulled him?
Yeah.
Yep, so try not to.
Wait until he does it
Yeah,
himself.
wait till he does that. So go ahead,
Okay.
pick up that chicken and throw it again.
All right. Okay, Eddie.
Good
Leave
boy,
it.
leave it. Yay, quick up,
I'm
quick,
not
good
doing
boy.
this. Good boy.
Good, all right, pick that up.
Okay.
All right, so let's go see Eddie in action, and I'll get Thor out of the car, and we'll set up out front.
Okay.
Okay, good. Come on, Eddie. Sit. Sit. Eddie. Sit. Sit. So I'm not gonna sit. I'm not gonna take a whole bunch of steps right now. I want that brain engaged. Because he checks out pretty quickly.
Yes, he does.
I'm pretty sure we need to make an equipment change because you really have no control. Sit. Sit. How about that? Sit. You see where Thor is over there? Mm-hmm. You can come on out, Barbara. Sit. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm trying to assess which treat here is highest value. I've got chicken, liverwurst, and cheese.
Oh, liverwurst, I know he loves.
Sit. And when I have a long piece, like I just feed a little bit out so he can bite it off.
Okay.
Right, he doesn't need all of that. Sit. Good boy. Down. Eddie, down. Good boy. So I'm not going to give him food.
He's used to like a big, huge hand gesture and
boy.
not the words so much.
Down. Good boy. That was 2 out treats, and the second one I reinforced.
Okay.
So keep. So he sees them.
Yeah. Starting. Oh yeah.
And I'm going to click and treat for looking at him.
For looking at him.
Yep.
Because he's just looking at him.
That's right. And he's not. Thor's, I use him because he doesn't bounce around and move a lot.
He's not react too much. He must be used to this a lot.
Click. So we'll take a step. Sit. Yes, good boy. So he's able to listen with the dog there. Sit. Sit because I asked. Boy. So this isn't right now about behavior. The behavior is he's looking and I'm clicking him for looking. So now we got everything going on. Good boy. Sit. So I'm also going to body block. Mm-hmm. Right, so you're reading, yes, good boy. And he's pretty good about looking up as soon as I step into him. Eddie, sit. Yes, good girl. So it's going to be about, right now I'm just trying to get him closer to Thor so we can see what's going to happen. Good boy, Eddie. Eddie, Eddie. Yes, good boy.
I think you forgot about Thor, actually.
Sit. Yes, good boy. Sit. Good boy. So I don't expect you to walk this way. This is going to be to see really what works and doesn't work.
Yes.
And how operant we can make him.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sit. Yes, good boy. And he's gotten much better. Sit. Of course, we're away from the bushes, so there's not as many scents. I'm not feeding everyone. Sit. Good boy. Variable. There's a time to be variable reinforcements, which is every other, every third. Good boy. Because it makes the behavior stronger. But looking at the dog is going to produce a click and a treat. And little pieces of liverwurst. Good boy. So his tail has come up. His ears are a little riveted, but I think I've seen them, pinned forward more. Good boy. Yes, nice. Yes, good boy. And of course we have a stationary dog, so that's always helpful. but he's aware of he's being there. Good boy. I was a little late on my click. Yes, good boy. Oop, clicked by mistake, but that's all right. So if we wait too long, then we get too much eye contact and we get reaction. Did you see that difference? Mm-hmm. So I'm clicking now for two things. I'm going to click if he looks at me, and I'm going to click if he looks at the dog. One says, really? I get clicked every time I look at the dog? See him air scenting, so he's looking for information. Pretty typical and normal. Eddie! Good boy. Yes, lots of air scenting going on. So we're going to see if we can turn. Sit. Good boy. So it can be risky to ask for a behavior. I don't really know if he's completely operant, but he complied, so he's with me mentally. Good boy. Eddie. Sit. Good boy. Eddie, sit. Good boy. You got a piece of chicken between your eyes. Can I get that? Good boy. Sit. So that's what I naturally say. Good boy. You're sitting on the curb, but we'll take that. Sit. Eddie. Yes, good boy. So when you work with them, I want you to work on your voice. Eddie, sit. Yes, good boy. Right, because that can mean a lot to him. Good boy. There's some random lick. Good boy. And he responds to that? Good boy. To the do you say something similar?
Yes, I do that.
Okay, good. That will just be convenient. So we're just going to wait for this car to go by. Let's not have you sit on the sidewalk, on the dirt. Sit. Down. Good boy. Okay. See if we can go by. So he still knows he's there. He's just not moving. Nice. Good boy. And we'll turn again and get a little bit closer. Sit. 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 Eddie. Good boy. Sit. So I'm going to body block until I get him to sit. Good boy. It's not too hot. I'll make sure it's not too hot. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Good boy. Nice. All right, so now I can get a few steps of this look. It seems like you've done a nice job with that. Eddie. Leave it. Yay, good boy. So that was a leave it. Throw the party. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Right? Makes a big difference to run away. Yes, have some chicken. Yes, good boy. Leave it. Leave it. Yes, good boy. All right, a little closer. We'll ask Thor to move in a minute. Oop. Replay. Good boy. Pull it. Eddie? Eddie? Good boy. So now I'm going to go back to clicking when he looks at him. See how he head snaps back to me pretty quick? Good boy. That was for looking at me. That's for looking at the dog. Looking at the dog. Good boy.
Wow.
Let's see if Thor may or may not get up. Good boy. Makes it harder for the dog if he's up. Good boy. Look at you. Nice. Yes, good boy. So now he's gotten a little softer. He's dropping his ears. Come on, one more pass. And your mom's going to work with you. Good boy. Looks at me. Looks, good boy. Click for looking at the dog. Click for looking at the dog. Good boy. Click for looking at the dog. Good boy. Look at you. Who's a superstar? Eddie. Eddie. Good boy. So let's have you start. We'll just walk from maybe the telephone pole back down. Come on. And you're gonna need chicken or cheese or something.
Yeah, I didn't have the really great treats today.
So let's take the bag right out. Can we take the bag out?
Mm-hmm. I had a couple things
I can
in
carry
here.
the bag.
Here's some hamburger. But I found out after I put these in that it was...
Yep, the soft ones are what we really, and I'll just hold that.
Okay.
All right, so let's come down here. Come on, Eddie. So your job is going to be to keep your eyes on him, being Eddie. Good boy. So the dog isn't novel. That's perfectly all right because this is as much to get your muscle movements and training going as it is for his. So do you have your
Okay.
clicker? Okay, good.
Yeah. Hey, Daddy.
And I tend to hold the leash this way so it doesn't get pulled through my hands.
And then you put food in this hand?
Yep, so there. I use the clicker in this hand.
Oh, okay.
Is that going to work for you?
Yeah.
There is a sort of technical.
Yeah, learning because I was holding it in my right hand and clicking with my left, but this actually I think is better.
You're going to take just a few steps and ask him to sit, and a few steps and ask him to sit.
Daddy, sit. Good boy.
I want you to try to use your hands and not the leash. So I'm going to take the leash actually from you. So I want you to use your hand signals and your words.
Okay. Eddie, sit.
Nice.
Good
See?
boy.
Good. And this time ask for a down.
Eddie, down. Down.
Good.
Good boy.
And can you walk with your, can that slide over to the side?
Mm-hmm.
And let's open it.
Okay.
Yep, and then just put the treats in there. There you go.
Okay.
So ask him to sit again. We'll walk a couple steps. Money.
Eddie. Eddie, sit.
And your hand signal. Good.
Oh, okay. Good boy.
Good. Good. And click him for looking at you. Good.
Good boy.
Keep your body towards where you're going. Yep. You don't. Yes.
Good
Nice.
boy.
You don't need to turn to him. He should turn to you.
Okay.
Good. Click him. Looking at you.
Good boy.
So you watch him. If he looks
Good
at Thor,
boy.
you're going to click. If he looks at you, good. Click.
Good boy. Good boy.
Good. And now turn, and you're going to go a little bit closer.
Watch me.
Good.
Good boy.
Come on.
Eddie,
Keep
come
walking.
on, Eddie.
Yes. So he offered that. Beautiful. Click him.
Good boy.
Treat him. I want you to click him for looking at the bike
Oh.
because that didn't make him react. Go ahead. Good boy.
Boy.
And go ahead and turn to your right. So you're going to get a little bit closer to Thor this time.
Come on, Eddie.
And ask him to sit.
Sit. Oh, whoops. Sit. Eddie,
Hand signal.
sit.
Yep.
Good boy.
Now you're going to click him if he looks at Thor or looks at you. So be ready. Click.
Good boy.
Click.
Good boy.
Don't go towards him. You're leaning in towards him. Click. Click.
Good
Yep.
boy. Oops. There you go.
That's right. Click.
Good boy.
Yep. Keep going. Click. Click.
Good boy. Come on. Good boy.
Stick it right in his
Good
mouth.
boy,
Good.
Eddie. Good boy, Eddie.
Good. Good. All right, we're going to turn, go a little bit closer. So go ahead, watch him.
Eddie, come on.
And this time ask him to sit.
Okay. Eddie,
Don't
sit.
turn towards him. Yep.
Sit.
Block him. Body block him.
Sit.
There.
Good boy. Good boy.
Nice. Ask him to sit.
Eddie, sit.
Good.
Sit. Oops, I'm getting clicker crazy. There we
There
go.
you go. Good.
Good boy. Good boy. He's getting full, I think.
He may be. All right. One more pass this
Okay.
way. and I'm going to keep him on your left side. But when you're walking, you're kind of moving towards him.
Yeah.
So I just want you to like pick a point and sort
Yeah.
of keep your body that way. So
Okay.
let me just show you a couple things.
Okay.
If you ask him to sit,
Yeah.
Eddie, sit, and he doesn't, then I want you to body block him by orienting straight towards him.
All right.
Okay? But when we're walking and you ask him to sit, maybe it's just because I'm here. You don't necessarily have to stand in front of him to ask for that sit,
Okay.
right? He should be able to sit with you facing this way,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't and you need to body block him, then you're going
You have to walk in
walk
front of
square
him.
into him.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
So go ahead, click him. He's looking at Thor.
Okay, good boy, Eddie.
Good. And ask for a sit, but you're not going to treat him.
Eddie,
Right now.
sit.
Block him. Oh, good. He looked when you said his name.
Okay,
Good.
Good
Don't.
boy.
Okay, next time ask for a sit and don't treat him.
Okay.
Every other now. Ask for the sit.
Eddie, sit.
Hand signal.
Sit.
Good. No treat.
Oh, no treat.
No. So no click, no treat. He doesn't need one every time.
Okay.
So I want you to do variable schedule.
Okay.
Go ahead. So we're going to walk and ask him to sit. Come on, Eddie. Good.
Good boy.
That was a good choice. Click again.
Good boy.
Good.
Man, I've never seen him this calm around a dog.
Good.
Well, usually the dogs are walking up the street.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
towards
and we've
him,
got
too.
movement,
Yeah.
which we're not
But
gonna
this
do
is
today.
Great, though.
Good.
Good boy. Good boy. All that. Good boy.
All right, so let's come over here in the shade.
Ah,
Come on,
good
Eddie.
idea.
And a little bit further away from Thor. All right, so Barbara, how did that feel, walking with Eddie and Thor?
That was great. Very encouraging.
Okay.
He's never been that calm around
Great.
another dog ever.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is I want him to always be leashed or on a long line like we used for the assessment.
Okay.
We as humans think that sit, down, stay, come and called are all behaviors because we've taught them, and they are. And when I'm working with people, I say, look, the more you ask for sit, the more you ask for down, the better the dog will get at those. It's also true for the naughty behaviors, that if he's successfully runs and charges at people and nips at their ankles, he'll get better at it. There's something, if the person stops moving and stands still, maybe that's what he was looking for, so he gets reinforced by it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Until we get a really good super duper recall on him or a super duper leave it, or we just get him so he doesn't pay attention to people, I don't want him practicing anything.
Okay.
So always leashed or a long line.
All right.
Okay? When you walk them, I want you to, you're going to have to spend at least a day getting prepared with treats.
Yeah.
I usually get cheap chicken breasts and cut them up.
Yeah.
Boil them and then cut them up.
Yeah.
Freeze them if you need to. I want you to get some cheese. I want you to
Yeah.
get liverwurst, roast beef if he likes toast, whatever it is, but soft, yummy, gooey things.
All right.
Okay? Hard, crunchy is not going to cut it outside, especially for a terrier that's like, oh, cat, squirrel, chipmunk, whatever else
right.
he smells and we don't even know.
Right.
We need something that's going to trump all of that stuff. You don't have to work as intensely on your walks as we did today. We'll do that together. But what I would like you to do is make sure that he is operant. I want you to ask him for a sit, ask him for a down. And if you see a dog, your choices are turn and go the other way. Start clicking and treating rapidly like you saw me do and like you did. If he's staring at the dog, it's going to be constant click, treat, click, treat, click, treat, click, treat, click, treat. The whole time he's staring at that dog.
Okay.
If you need, he seems fairly sensitive to body blocking, so you can also try to body block him.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you right now, like I might do that if he was in a reaction and I thought I could get him back as long as the dog wasn't getting closer.
Yeah.
If the stimulus gets closer, then we're going to get more reaction out
Yeah.
of him. And today our stimulus was pretty contained. Can I get off the tree yet? Hang on, Thor.
Poor hot dog.
Oh, I know. And then together we'll work on, if it's hot like this or whatever, they may be half-hour sessions. I'll bring
Okay.
up a dog, and we're
Okay.
just going to do pass-bys, 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 pass-bys.
Okay.
And the goal is to teach him what to do and to make you calmer,
Yeah.
so that you know what to do. So that
Okay.
you have basically a tool belt that says, I can body block, I can leave it, I can run away, I can click and treat, I can da-da-da-da-da-da. So if you have got tools, then you also have something to do besides, oh my God, here comes a dog, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then he has something else to do. That's really, it seems very simplistic, but I always want the dog to know what I want him to do.
Okay.
And I want you to know what you need to do, and that will help him. Okay?
Sounds good.
Any questions?
When we're walking up the street and somebody, comes out of nowhere with a dog, and I don't have time, and he goes into reaction, should I just pull him away as fast as I can and try to body block and pull him out of the...
If you can run away, I'd run away. If you can change your direction and get out of there, I'd get out of there.
Okay.
And then once you're far enough away and he's starting to calm down and the dog isn't a factor anymore, I would start to ask for sits and downs to make sure that we've switched him to the front of his brain.
Okay.
So in those, they're not really emergency situations, but I'll call it an emergency situation.
Yeah.
Get out of Dodge.
Just
get out of Dodge,
yeah.
right. And one last thing is, you seem to understand this, but I don't want him meeting and greeting dogs when he's all torqued up like that.
Oh no, it's
right?
not possible.
Right. I mean, who wants to?
Yeah.
But that is often a cause of a fight.
Okay.
It doesn't label him, oh, he's an aggressive dog. It just means he's so ramped up and adrenalized that then when he actually gets there, it would not be a shock at all if there was a fight.
Sure.
So. And he doesn't have to greet every dog he sees anyway.
That's right.
That does, we say hello, but we don't go up and shake hands with everybody, across the street. Thank God. All right, that was a great question. Anything else?
I think this is probably another lesson, but how do I act with the same thing with people as with the dogs?
Exactly.
The click and treat as
Yes.
we go by. If he gets huffy and starts getting wound up.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you're walking. Let's say we were walking down this street and somebody turned the corner and you were like, oop, you may just turn around and go that way.
Okay.
And because you live here, I'll use this as an example. If this person was walking up here, I would duck down, go in there, let him chill out, let the person go by, and then start again.
Okay.
And I hope that in pretty short order we'll get so that you can just walk by people and walk past dogs. But until then, again, I just don't want him practicing. And that would all go into the practice category.
So then also, because we live in this really exposed area and he's outside on his line chewing on a bone, like if he starts to yip, I should immediately just go out and pull him in the house so he doesn't practice barking.
Yeah, is he barking at people that go by?
Yes, but I usually walk right out and say no and then pick him up and bring him in.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
And do you physically pick him up or do you bring him in by the leash?
Either way, depending. Sometimes I just pick him up because I think it's like gets his attention so much. But
I would bring him in by the leash.
Okay.
Only in the event that he enjoys being picked up. We could, and I don't know, how big of a reinforcement is picking up your dog, but let's not err on the side of, she's picking, bark, 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 come pick me up.
Actually, I thought he seemed pretty humiliated when I picked him up.
Maybe he's like, I'm getting picked up. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but all right, I'll use the leash.
Great. All right. Any other?
No, I think for now that's great. I'm encouraged to see that behavior.
Good. Good. Thanks for watching this episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I look forward to seeing you next week.
If you have a doggy dilemma, Denise can help. Visit www.denisemazzola.com for more information. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer tested through the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. The association requires recertification every 3 years with a minimum of 30 hours of continuing education. She has been training dogs and working with families for over 20 years.